Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new series that I'm doing, new year, new series. This is the first race of 2021. This was having fun on Friday evening in Dalkings, open sort of community races, just having a good time. First race around Bathurst. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do so. Loads more of this to come. Hopefully you'll be entertained by this great race starting from P9 on the grid. Always a little bit crazy starting Bathurst. It's very tight first corner, very tight left-hander, and immediately make a mistake of getting a little bit on the curb. I'm good on the braking there, but the Ferrari gets the run of us. We've got an Aston on our outside, a Lexus just behind us, you can see under the wing, but straight away, in typical fashion, there's cars all over the place in the background. There's a sort of 50-car field, tries to flood through the first section. Got a bit of a drag race going on with this Aston going into the second corner, but the inside line here is always preferable. If you're on the inside there, you're just round and you're absolutely on the right line. You're not going to get past around the outside of that corner because the car, the camber falls away on the road and the car just loses so much grip. But this bit's super difficult on the first lap to judge where you are because you can't really see the walls very well, okay? So it's all about just trying to keep pace with the car in front and hoping things start to fan out a little bit more and people start making a couple of mistakes because it's super difficult and of course your pressures aren't up to temperature yet. So getting this downhill section, it's really important to be a little bit more cautious than I am through here, as I'm a little bit wide going to the right hand, almost lose the back end here. People already making mistakes, hitting the wall, and we're just about squeezed through there. The blue Ferrari making a mistake and really ruining his race. It's not worth the extra tenth or two that you'll gain by pushing through that downhill section on the opening lap compared with how much you're going to lose for the rest of the race. It's just not worth it. As you see, we've gained a few positions already, and we've got a Lexus behind us, and we're chasing down the Aston Martin with a Ferrari in front. Same paint job on the Lexus behind us. Well, I think we've already got a little bit less wing than him though, and we should have the legs on the Aston down towards the end of the straight there. The car notoriously good as a run a little bit wide, going around the second last corner, almost lost the back end there. That Aston notoriously good under traction, but not so good on top end. We'll see how we get on against it. Two cars ahead battling, as a Lamborghini in front there as well. Super tight, good opening lap. Important to get a nice solid start to a race. Just find your rhythm, super important on this track to get your rhythm as the Aston's wide. We're going to be in a drag race at the end of the straight here into the second corner. Really important to find your rhythm on this track because as soon as you do, it's like a bit of a metronome. You just keep going. But if you lose confidence, as we swing to the inside and then back out to the outside to see if we can find a gap. But as I said on the previous lap, there's no way through there. So the Lamborghini makes a mistake. We'll go back on board. And we're going to get boxed in here. Nowhere really to go there. The Aston's going to try and sneak up the inside. The Lambo will get a good run. He'll cut back in front of us. No need to get involved there. There's the Lexus behind is pressuring us, but not too much. And there's no point trying to force our way through here. It's single file really through the mountain. So just keep the pressure on. See how close we can get by the end of the mountain. The Aston gets all out of shape through there. Lexus not great over the top of the mountain. You see both of us struggling and falling back from the Lambo and the Aston ahead. Good through the downhill section. Nice sort of bit part braking through there. Little bit wide through the left-hander, but early enough on the power. You see there's the Aston and the Lambo just flying away down the hill. So composed through there. So Lambo takes a slightly wider line to try and get the run on the Aston down the straight. As I said, really important to get in your groove because if you lose it and you lose confidence around some of these corners, then you're pretty shot for the rest of the race. It's happened to me in an endurance race before. It's horrible, but we seem to have got in our rhythm pretty quick here in the Lexus, which is good to know. The Lambo going up the inside of the Aston Martin, and they're going to go side by side into the final complex or second to last corner complex. Lambo runs a little bit wide but keeps it on the road, loses a whole ton of speed, and we're up the outside of the Aston, but once again we're going to get bundled in and blocked in. There's no point trying to go 2 by 2 around this final corner if you're on the outside because you're just going to be put in the wall, virtually guaranteed. And the Lexus behind is playing it cool, hang about or not. Okay, he's gone up the inside. Let's try and get the run on him back down towards the second corner. He's run a little bit wide, didn't carry as much speed as he needed to through there, and we're in a proper drag race now, going down the first proper long straight up to 165 odd miles an hour here. So it really is a long straight, and I think we are running less aeros. We've got a bit of a run there, but we're comfortably through. Although he's on the inside, we tuck in nicely for the corner, run a little bit wide, but actually we're okay there. So we're back in the position we were in. Let's go back on board. We're chasing down this Aston, who is being held up a little bit by this Lamborghini. You can sort of feel it as we just touched the wall there. A little bit of a mistake. That Lexus is right behind us now. You can see just tucked under our rear wing on the right hand side. All about trying to get back into that rhythm as quickly as possible. Probably have a little bit of damage on the front left now, which is going to hinder us a little bit, but it should be okay. We're not going to lose too much speed. It's all about just clipping the curbs here, just not running too wide, not taking too much speed. Nice and composed through the mountain. Brake when you're not on, when you're not turning and not on the throttle. Just bit part, nice and smooth. You can take a really great line through there where you're braking and turning, but it's so difficult to do. Same with this hairpin. It's really crucial to get off the brakes as quickly as possible and trail brake into that corner, otherwise you're going to lock up down the hill and compromise your run all the way down the longest straight on the track. Up to 177, 178 miles an hour on the Lexus here. We're running really low wing, so really important to get a good run out of there, because if you do, nothing's going to get past you unless they're in a really great slipstream. Still stuck behind that Aston. That red Ferrari's not too far ahead though. It's just starting to creep away as the Lambo and the Aston start to battle and close up a little bit. But that's fine. We know that we're going to be fighting for those positions come the end of the race as we battle to get past these two. Important not to go wide on that corner. You lose quite a bit of momentum going up the start-finish straight, if that's what you can call it. Break in between the 150-metre board there. You can take a little bit of curb on the inside on the power nice and early, and make sure you tuck into the draft straight away. We seem to have dropped the Lexus behind, which is good news. And now we can eyes forward, focus entirely on the Aston and the Lambo ahead. We're running pretty good lap times. We've got lowish fuel. The track's just gone to optimum at this stage, so really the Lexus is going to start coming into its own here, as we've got a back marker that we're going to come across through here. The Lamborghini is going to be the first one it comes to, and is it going to let him by coming out of here? Just about, maybe. Is he going to stay on the inside? Is he going to have enough room? And we're going to be compromised by this. Wow, okay, just about didn't hit the back of the Aston Martin. A heart went through out the top of my face there. That was ridiculous. But you've got to compose yourself and get straight back to it, because that Aston didn't lose too much time there, and the Lexus is back on behind us. So you've got to compose yourself, come down this downhill section. The Aston a little bit tentative, but good lines, absolutely fine from him. But we've got to be straight back on him and see if we can get in the draft here. Good braking here, nice and early off the brakes, nice inside line. Don't tap the wall on the outside if you can help it, which we absolutely manage, which is brilliant. And now this is where we start coming into our own. The Aston's got a big old rear wing on that. It's got probably running medium to high downforce, and we've gone the opposite way. We're sort of running a third downforce in the Lexus, so we're going to be quick down these straights, and we're going to be really looking to exploit the vulnerabilities of that Aston towards the end of the longer straights. It runs a little bit slidey, as do we get a little bit out of shape in the dirty air, but we're staying with him. We've isolated the Aston Martin now. Not slow at all. Steele Vassens, who's driving that Aston, not slow at all. Really great driver, and I know he's clean as well. We have some good battles on track, which is really lovely. But that thing's starting to show now that he's lost the draft from the Lamborghini ahead, as he runs a little bit wide, hits the inside curb as well. So he's going to be compromised into the second corner. This is going to turn into a nice drag race, as we're getting a half draft from that massive rear wing on the Aston. Got huge traction, and remember, if you're on the inside of this corner, you've pretty much got it. So I duck out, let him take the corner, so we live to fight another day, and see if he makes a mistake on the exit, to see if we can get a little bit of run going into this next left-hander complex. But we don't, so we have to relax down into first gear. Better run, but again, there's nowhere to overtake really here, so we just show our nose, just let him know that we're there. Can't see that wall, just have to be a little tentative through there, so it's giving him a slight breathing room. But with the Lexus behind, you don't have to worry about him too much at the minute. It's giving us a bit of breathing room, it's not pressuring us too much. And now that we've got this Aston isolated, if we can get a good run through the downhill, as both of the Lexuses go wide a little bit through there. If we can get a good run down the downhill, through the downhill I should say, then we know that Aston's going to be really vulnerable by the end of the straight, and we can really start to exploit that. So crucial braking into the left-hand hairpin, nice tight line on the power early, and I think we're going to be close enough to try and make a move here. Tuck under that massive rear wing of the Aston. We're about, what, 0.5 seconds behind, but we're just going to reel it in, especially on the uphill section. The Lexus got good power. And we're getting ever closer. I'm not sure we're going to be close enough to make a move, or are we? He's going to go defensive, most likely. No, he doesn't go defensive. Do we risk it? Oh, we're really, really late on the brakes. Have to come off nicely. Lose a little bit on the exit. Thought we were going to oversteer, but again, the Lexus behind, giving us plenty of room. No need to pressure us. And the Aston lives to fight another day. The start of the checkered boxes, a little bit wide, but that's okay. On the power nice and early on the curb. Across the start-finish line for another lap. But at this point, you're starting to think, can we get by? Can we? It's going to take a mistake, and that's exactly what comes from the Aston. Hits the curb on the inside and doesn't keep that power on. A little bit of oversteer, and it's going to be a drag race, which we are ultimately, I would imagine, going to win through here. As we go to TV cam to see how we get on. Again, the Aston's on the inside, but can we flood across to try and take the line? Really late on the brakes, and I think we've done it. We're through. And now it's all about whether that Aston can hang on to us through this uphill section, but all we need to do is keep calm, take the lines, don't hit any walls, to just solidify this position. That Aston's not going to be able to come back at us down the straight. So we know we're much better off down the straight than that car is, and he's hopefully going to come under pressure from the other Lexus. So eyes forward. Let's see if we can catch up to that Lamborghini. It's really, really key to just... Oh, and we've got that Ferrari off on the right-hand side in the gravel from a couple of places above us. So we gained another position through attrition, which is obviously a massive thing. As the Lambo makes a mistake in front. Whoa, and we just about squeezed through a little tap of the wall. Again, a little bit of damage probably on both sides now, which is okay. Probably balances out. We're going to lose a little bit of speed down the straight, which may well leave us vulnerable to the Aston, but it shouldn't affect us too much. He is in the tow though, but so the Lexus behind that Lamborghini probably has a chunk of damage behind the other Lexus, so it's probably not going to be an issue moving forward, even though he did have good pace. Got a massive gap in front of us, so really it's about keeping this position and solidifying it now with that Aston behind. Nice clean section, running back on board, coming into the final corner, using that 100-meter board just after as a braking point, just trying to apex a little bit later than you think. Most cars are sort of first gear there. Lexus got quite a short second gear, so it's not too bad to take it in second in this one, as with the first corner. A little bit wide through there. Can afford to run a bit wide as long as you don't go on the grass. It's all about just keeping momentum now, being fast on the moments of the track which matter. Coming out of the first corner, coming out of the hairpin onto the long straight, so you don't compromise yourself, and just keeping the line, which is pretty much the only line. It's the Aston slightly wide there actually, through this uphill and mountainous section. Really important just to keep composed. Aston's still keeping us under pressure though. He's not, he's quick through the mountain section, so it's just on the straights that he becomes pretty vulnerable. But we're running some good pace. Got a lot of room in front of us. We've got eyes forward, so we don't have to concentrate on him behind. Which is really crucial in a race like this, to shift your psychology. So the Aston just touches the wall just slightly. Whoa, and the Lexus. Big off for the other Lexus. He's going to be in the wall for that one. Nice and clean. Oh, I think he might have survived the other Lexus, but he's going to have maybe a little bit of damage, or he definitely lost a chunk of time. Good exit onto the back straight, which is one of the things we need to be doing. We skip forward a bit because we're sort of in the status quo with the Aston behind. We've dropped him a little bit. We're just over a second ahead now. And can we see we're coming up to a back marker who's slow, coming down through the downhill section, so we know there's going to be some sort of issue ahead as he slides right in front of us, hits the wall. We scoot through almost as a repeat exactly of the Lamborghini. There's another incident ahead between a Bentley and a Merc, I think. and then we've got a Porsche sliding off to the left-hand side. It's all kicking off, and through that, because we were the first car, we were a little bit compromised there, so we had to take everything straight away, whereas the Aston behind's managed to close up within half a second now, because he could see what was unfolding ahead of him and what I was doing to react. So a little bit more time to think about what he was going to do, where he's going to place the car, if he was going to let off at all like we had to. So not quite as nervous through there as I was, which has allowed him back into the grass, back into the draft. We have the Merc that was ahead of us pulling off to the side after a big crash up ahead. Lots of damage apparently, so another position gained through attrition, and we've got another Audi ahead of us. Not sure whether that's a back marker or full position. I'm sure we'll find out. I'll find out soon enough. So we're through the mountain again. Little bit wide through there. This isn't the time to be making mistakes. We're coming towards the end of the lap, and we really lose our footing through there because we went wide on the corner before. We just lost our rhythm through there, but not too bad. It's safer to go down the hill, straighter, and lose a bit of time, as we've got a Bentley just parked up, just chilling on the side of the road. He just doesn't fancy it anymore. Just parking it up, looking at the view, taking in the sounds of the races. And again, that Aston tucked under our rear wing, not quite close enough this time. It's got to be really, really close to Aston to make a move on the Lexus due to our superior straight line speed. But he's there, and if we make a proper mistake, he's going to absolutely pounce on us, which is what he should be doing. And it's a really honest race, this. Little touch of oversteer. And we've got a Ferrari that's a little bit wide through the second last corner, and we know that these guys are struggling. He's gone wide again. Stay left here. Oh, and he's hit the wall, come back across. Luckily that didn't quite catch us as badly as it could have, but we're going to have a chunk of damage, and that Aston really now is, and we've run a little bit wide, well, wide of the apex, sorry, and that Aston really now is tucked under our rear wing. It's going to be another drag race into the second corner. He's pretty much as close as he's been since we got by him, and he's going to be getting all that downforce taken off in the draft, quicker down the straight. He's managed to stick with us through the right hand, although we get a nice clean exit. All about staying true, staying on the line through the mountain section, as we know. Nice and close around the left hand hairpin. With a couple of backmuckers up ahead, or a couple of cars up ahead, I should say, which hopefully won't come into play. That Audi's still there, as we just nicked the wall just a tiny little bit, as we're suffering with some understeer now due to that damage from the backmarker on the final lap of the race as well. So it's all about whether we can get a good run onto the straight and how much that damage is affecting us. Late on the brakes down the downhill section, nice and clean though, into second gear, keep hugging the wall on the right hand side. Touch the wall again, starting to lose a bit of composure, and the Aston's all under the back of us here. Can we get a good run going down the straight? Nice and tentative. Early on the power though. No kick of oversteer through the gears, revving it right out, see if we can get that maximum power. No need to worry about fuel at this stage, anything like that. And the Aston, you can see right under the rear wing now, we're up to, what, 160 odd miles an hour here, 165. It's starting to gain. What way is it going to go? Do we go defensive? We keep the line. The Aston makes a lunge. He's good on the brakes, takes the curb on the inside, a stay to the outside, and we've got the inside line for the right-hander. And I think that might be the Aston's race done and dusted. If we can hit the braking point that we do on the final corner, and away we go for P3 in the end. P3 from P9 on the grid and across the line. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Something a little bit different. Lots of racing to come on the channel, and lots of position to be gained. We're going to be doing some other cars as well. RST videos, more track guides to come, but we're going to do a lot more racing this year, which I'm going to share with you. These little sprint races, they're great, really intense, good battle with Steele Vasson in the Aston Martin. They're real skillful show from him. That move on the last lap to not go too deep and just annihilate us. A real good respect there, which is what it's all about. So until next time, guys, see you then.